regret is not required. In your personal life, you might feel regret sometimes, and that is essentially your body or your subconscious telling you that maybe something you did you should not have done, or maybe something you didn't do you should have done. And the solution to this feeling in your personal life is rather simple. Try the other thing then. Don't repeat that thing you did that you regret. Try something else. Or do try that thing you regret not doing and see what happens. Simple. Now this gets much more complicated when we're not talking about your personal life anymore, but rather social life, communal life, societal life, when other people get involved. Well then, if you end up doing something that you regret, or other people regret you doing, then it's time for an apology. And this is where things can go terribly, terribly wrong if regret is given too much emphasis. Instead, here's what an apology should include. First, introspection. The person making the apology really needs to lay down the facts so that everyone knows that they know what everyone else knows, so that everyone is on the same page and we can all help each other. Catch my drift? Next, there's admittance. If the person does not admit to doing the thing, then why even apologize? So they must admit that they did something they should not have done based on the facts. And lastly, the third thing is promise. Do not do it again. So the same thing that people can do in their personal life, it needs to be here too. Promise, this time not to yourself to do something else, but to others to do something else. In the future, I will do something else. And that's that. That's the apology in the moment. Now, where was regret? In the first part? The second part? The third part? Well, it wasn't there, because it's not required. Now, if someone puts it in there, that I regret this or that or what have you, that's fine, but it's not actually required. So if someone does not display regret in their apology, that's not a bad sign, because in the end, if the promise is kept, then everything's fine. And that also implies something on you. You should pay attention to what that person is doing in the future. It doesn't matter if they regret something or not. If they end up doing the same thing over and over again, despite the apology, then it was a non-apology. So you also have a duty to survey and keep tabs on this person and tell them when they are making an error again. Now, what if there is plenty of regret within the apology? Is there a downside to that? And the answer is yes, if the other three things are not there. If even one of them is missing, replaced by displays of regret, well then it is by default a non-apology. If introspection is not there, well then how could I know that the other person is talking about the same thing that I'm talking about? They don't seem to be saying the right things. What are they even apologizing about? So this is why going through the facts is so important. Second, if the admittance is missing, well then something happened, someone did it, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully. Well, I agree, but why are you talking about it? You don't seem to be responsible because you didn't admit to it. So shouldn't someone else be making this apology? And then the third part, well, if the promise is missing, then what was the point? You did something wrong, and? Will you do it again tomorrow? Hopefully not, surely? Are you going to promise something? That's what I thought. So if displays of regret replace one of these three things, then it's a non-apology. Then it is a waste of everyone's time. And that's why I don't think regret is required. Deal with it in your own head, because that's all it is. It's a feeling. You don't need to externalize your feelings to other people. That is not required. So keep those in mind next time you feel a little regretful of something. And you might even have to apologize. Do it properly. And remember, stay civilized.